we want to talk about the lab equipment that you're going to be using to do these different experiments. We've set it up so that most of the equipment is something you can already find around the house. There's a few items that are slightly more expensive, but the total cost, if you got everything from scratch, if you didn't have anything in your possession, should be less than $20. We also want to let you know that we encourage substitutions. If I have a ramp that I've built by a certain method, maybe you have a board at home or an extra bookshelf. You can use that instead. So don't be afraid to substitute, and just let your instructor or even other students know what you used instead in order to get the job done. Let's begin with some of the basic tools. Now, obviously, you should have a calculator because we are going to be making measurements and doing different calculations. In addition to that, you're going to need a pencil or a pen to write things down. But some standard measurement devices that we are going to be using for most of the labs includes a 30-centimeter ruler. Now, there's a good chance you already have a plastic ruler, but at the website we have a PDF file so that you can print out your own and cut it out, much like this one. In the same way, there's a good chance you have a plastic protractor. 2 or 3 of the labs have the measurement of angles. If you don't, there's a PDF file so you can print it out on paper and then cut it out. You'll also need a timer, and we have some online timers, or you can use your phone. But there's another important tool that you're going to need that you probably don't have. This is a spring scale. This particular spring scale is made by Auhaus, as you can see. It's an older style. There's another that we prefer that's a plastic tube. The spring scale is not something you're going to be able to buy in a store, but there is a link at the website through Amazon whereby you can get one. Generally, the cost is going to be about $10 and maybe some extra for shipping. But about 5 of the labs use a spring scale to measure force. So this is a piece of equipment that you must have. There's some other simple equipment that you're going to find around the house. For example, we use rubber bands quite a bit, more often than you might think. In the same way, we'll be needing to include some paper clips for different purposes. And then also, 2 or 3 of the labs include string. You can go get these from a supply store, an office supply store, but odds are you have these laying around the house someplace. Now, in addition to the simple equipment, there's also some specialized equipment that you're going to need. The big one is a ramp. As I said a little bit earlier, you might have a board, a 2x4 or a 1x6 around the house. Or perhaps you have a bookshelf that you could use. As you can see, I went to Lowe's and I bought 2 of their yardsticks for $1 each. I then got some cardboard and tape, and I taped them together. And so this is the ramp that I'm going to use when you see the demonstration of some of the experiments. What I like about the ramp that I made is that I included a groove down the middle, because in a couple of the labs, we're going to be rolling a marble. So the groove is already there to make sure that the marble rolls straight. So again, that's something that you could substitute, or you can build it like I did. In addition, you need to have a meter stick separately from the ramp. This is a meter stick that I have at Dalton State. They're only about $3 if you want to buy a meter stick, or you could use a yardstick and then mark off centimeters. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a meter stick like this. You just need to be able to measure more than 30 centimeters. Also at the website is another PDF file so that you can cut out different sections, tape them together, and make your own meter stick out of paper. If you want, you could even make that meter stick, tape it to the edge of one of the Lowe's yardsticks, and then you'll have a piece of wood, a hard edge, in order to make measurements. Because these are kind of large, I'm going to move these items back out of the way. There are a few more specialty items that you will be using if you do all 12 of the labs. For one of the labs on Atwood's machine, we use a pulley. I bought this pulley at the local big box store for about $2.50. We also thought it was important to include a lab on wave motion. And so you may want to get, or you'll be purchasing a slinky. The normal price of the slinky is about $5. This one I got on sale for $3. So a couple of the specialty labs need these particular pieces of equipment. And then also, you'll need to get some marbles. I went to a dollar store and I was able to buy 100 marbles or 50 marbles for $1. That included not only the smaller size marbles, but the shooter marble, which I showed you a minute ago. And the shooter marble is really nice when we do motion because it's a little bit larger, easier to identify. At the very least, you need a total of 3 marbles, 2 small size ones, and then the shooter marble for the lab on collisions in 2 dimensions. There's a few things that are household items that are not regular equipment in this sense. For one of the experiments, I used a CD case, although you can use something else like a paperback book. And then also for, as a weight, we'll also be using cans of soda or bottles of water. And then for the last experiment, it's a tin can. So that's just about all the equipment you will need for all 12 labs. Now, each individual lab gives a list of materials and equipment for it, so you can always check those out. Also, there'll be a separate document posted at the website so that you're able to take a look at the same list, not just through the video, but just by the list of the equipment. If you have any questions at all about substitutions or about finding things, what you need for a particular lab, then by all means contact your professor either through the the GoView email or by other means. And good luck on doing these labs.